We got Brandon Royval back here on the program. Is going to be back in action. UFC Fight Night against Askar Askarov. Brandon, how's it going, man?
Getting yourself?
Doing great. Like I mentioned, good to see you back in action in a little bit here. I could be wrong about this. Well, actually, I'm not wrong. We did the interview a few fights ago. I remember you talking about Askar and how much of a boring fighter he was, and now you're fighting him. So, what was your reaction to getting this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've been campaigning to get this fight for probably like 2 years now. Since I probably fought Kaikar France like 2 years or so ago, like a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a good next step for me was Askar Askarov and an opportunity against him. So I'm just excited I could still be fighting up
yeah,
rankings.
My
last few fights have been like guys that are ranked a little bit lower than me, so my status hasn't moved at all. So it's just a good opportunity to kind of move up the rankings and try to move up in the top 5 of the division right now. And Askarov's I'm not like a fan of his style at all, but he's obviously a worthy opponent and adversary, and he's been able to get the job done a lot of times, And also, I feel like if I can go out there and finish him, it kind of cancels and eases my mind on the Pantoja loss because I'm still very much not over that loss right now. And, it'll ease my mind a little bit on that and maybe even campaign so I can get a rematch or something of that sort.
Yeah, a finish here would be a really, really huge win. So we're talking right now, and it's more than a month out from the fight. When did you find out? He looks like he got more than enough time for a camp.
Yeah, probably like a month and a half ago or something of that sort. Yeah, a month and a half ago. So I had plenty of notice on it. And it was just like kind of figuring out the dates. They wanted to be on the Abu Dhabi card, which I was all about too, but my coach can't be out in Abu Dhabi at that. So he was pretty much campaigning on trying to make it a week before or a week after on that sense. So, I was just kind of figuring out the dates, but I knew I was going to fight Askarov. I knew that was probably the most likely opponent pretty much after the Kaikar France. After Kaikar France beat him, and then I beat Matt Schnell. We were the only two without fights in the top 5. And once he got healed, I was like, all right, cool. It's probably going to be the next likely step for me.
Yeah, no, it's a really fun fight. And how are you looking at this one from a style perspective? You and Askar, I think it's pretty straightforward what he's going to do, but you're obviously, you're one of the more unorthodox guys in the weight class.
Yeah, mine's is just to go be a killer, man. I think that's what I bring to the table strong is I just have a very aggressive and strong, kill type of mentality and look for the kill and try to make chaos and make things like of that sort happen. And I don't see anything different with Askarov specifically. Is just I think I'm the more dangerous of us two, and I feel like I get a little anxiety about fights, but it's like if I have a little bit of anxiety about this fight, he should be sweating Askarov bullets or whatever the hell his nickname is, but he should be sweating bullets. You know what I'm saying? Because I have massive potential to finish him in every sense of the word. So it's I feel like. He should be a little bit more afraid of me than I am of him and what he brings to the table.
Training camp, anything different? Who have you been working with, and who will you be working with sort of going forward leading into this?
I do a lot of things different for this camp specifically. I have a wrestling coach in Jacoby Jones, and he's like not becoming fighter, by the way, but and you guys will see him in the UFC soon, but also just like a stud wrestler, man, and a collegiate wrestler. And I've been having him working with him every day, or not every day, but weekly, and just having the opportunity to kind of grow with him. And I've been working a lot with Liera Jr., which is Michael Liera Jr., who's a big jiu-jitsu guy, and just kind of trying to grow with him and all that stuff. So definitely just preparing hard on the ground. And obviously I have Mark Montoya preparing me on the feet, and I have one of my main training partners, Clay Matza, who's also preparing me on the feet and all that stuff, and just give me good looks and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of different stuff, but just right along the lines of what I need to be doing and improving as a fighter, and just stuff that I wanted to do anyways. Is I've always wanted to improve my wrestling. It's been a obvious hole in my game, and it's also just something I never really cared to fix because the consequences of people taking me to the ground is usually I get a submission. So it's one of those things. But it's like I don't know if I can necessarily prevent all the takedowns that Askarov's going to throw at me, but I do want to make him work hard the whole entire time. I want to make him work for it, and it's like that'll prevent opportunities for me on the feet and then also on the ground.
You mentioned the changes and everything. Is this specific to Askar, or is this just in general things that you wanted to level up on? I know you said you wanted to improve the wrestling, but is that for him or is that just in general?
Yeah, well, it was honestly a necessity for Askarov, but it was something that I need to do no matter what. And if I want to be a champion in this division, and I believe that my skill set right now is already capable of doing so, But if I want to be a full-on champion of the division, I can't be giving up easy takedowns anymore, and I can't be just so willingly to go on the ground. And and a lot of my past fights is just like, for me, my motto have always been, since I started in the UFC, or since I started MMA, is just pick your poison. I always negated the wrestling factor. And that was more of a pride thing, where I was just like, I don't care if you take it to the ground, I'm going to submit you. If you want to stand up, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And it's always been kind of my motto in my head. It's just pick your poison. But yeah, maybe I shouldn't be giving takedowns easy, and maybe I should make people work a little bit harder for it. And my cardio is top notch, and it's one of the best parts of my game. And it's like, might as well make this dude work for everything that he's going for, And if he wants to take it to the ground, I'm going to make him work hard for it. And then once we get to the ground, I'm going to make him work hard there too, Have you ever heard of Prefontaine? You know what Prefontaine is?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, I've been having that Prefontaine, like his quotes and all that stuff, like stuck in my head, and that's just kind of how I want to do it. Just want to go out there and put a Prefontaine pace on this cat, and just, I'm gonna go out there, press my foot on the gas from the very start and from the very jump, and let's see who hangs out there. Prefontaine's famous for saying, he goes, the best pace is a suicide pace, and today's a good day to die. And I just been kind of having that in my head, is just trying to bring myself to the dark places in training, and then just surpass it and just make it home, And once you do that in training, it's nothing in a fight. Once you're used to just creating that in training, and then it's habit in the fight, And it's just trying to create these good habits. And for me, I already put a high pace out there. I just barely found out about Prefontaine a couple months ago, but I feel like him and I resonate a lot, And I like his style, and I like he's that guy's the fighter of the running world, So I really like carrying a little bit of his attitude in the fight world.
Cool. Okay, I like that. It all kind of ties together. Real great.
My style, bro. I'm so chaotic, and I'm just hitting the gas the whole entire time. And I feel like a guy like Prefontaine, who the moment the race starts and you just start sprinting in a long race like that, is kind of my style and resonates towards me a lot too. So it's pretty cool, man. And just embrace the hurt of this fight, because I know Askarov's goal is to go 3 rounds and try to win a decision, and my goal is to not let him, So my goal is to get him out of there as soon as possible. And a guy like that, I'm probably gonna have to go into deep waters with and go to dark places to kind of get the W over. And let's go.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. So obviously Mark Montoya is going to be in your corner. Who else will be with you in the cage that night?
Yeah, I have my normal professor, Mario Correa, coming with me, and then I have one of my good friends and training partners, Clay Mata, coming with me. So, and then also I have Jonathan. So I have a bunch of people, and I think about it because Jonathan's fighting on the card. Jonathan Martinez is fighting Cub Swanson, and
that's right. What a crazy fight that is.
So once we go to Vegas to go for fight week, I'll be accompanied with all my teammates. I have Chris Gutierrez out there, Calvin, his little brother, and yeah, it'll be a good time. So it should be fun out in Vegas this time around.
How's this fight playing out on October 15th?
And this fight's playing out just like I was saying, man. I'm going to go put a high pace on him. I'm going to make him work his ass off those first 2 rounds, and I'm going to look for a finish that whole entire time and just take what he gives me, He tends to get sloppy at the end of his rounds, and I'm going to capitalize off all that.
So how's the rest of your summer? Because we haven't talked. I'm sure you knew about this fight being in October, so I'm sure you got to enjoy yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, man. I was able to do a couple of things with UFC. I spent like a whole month gone, which was weird for me because I don't ever disappear for a week or anything. So I spent a whole month gone on vacation, and then doing some stuff with the UFC was pretty cool. And then just kind of moseying around. So I had a month of that. I planted a garden because I just moved into this new house. I planted a garden in my new house, destroyed it pretty much a month in because I was gone for the whole month, and just Alex Hernandez forgot to water my shit.
What? Really? So he was in charge, and he just forgot to do it?
Yeah, because we're pretty much neighbors. He lives like a block away from me. Or like, he just moved, but he lives like almost like a mile away from me now. So we've been pretty much neighbors since I moved into this house, and I put him in charge. And my boy let my plants die, so I'm gonna have to come out.
Well, what did he say? Did he's like, dude, I forgot, or what happened?
No, it's been a hot summer too, so I think it's just like those plants need to be watered more than once, especially like where my like plants are located is directly in the sun. So he didn't necessarily have an excuse for it, and I didn't necessarily care that much because I wasn't doing what I had to do. So it was just like it happened, and then my boy let my plants die.
That's crazy. So how are they now? Have you salvaged what you could? Or?
Yeah, I put in a garden, and it's gone now. I came back from vacation, and it's pretty much done.
Where did you go on vacation?
I went to Cali. I went to Cali for a little bit, Vegas, and then just around Colorado for a while.
Nice. That's good. A little staycation part of it. You know,
Yeah,
sure getting to
yeah,
see. 'Cause Colorado's big, right? So there's probably
yeah.
lots to do.
Colorado's big. It's pretty mountainy, and then you can kind of just tour around that a little bit. And then the week before that or after that, I got COVID, so it was pretty much like a whole month off. Man, honestly, it was crazy. I've never had a month away from the gym of that sort.
Was it like a good like way to recharge the batteries a bit? Because you've been going full force like basically since I've met you,
Yeah,
since
yeah.
back in the LFA days.
I was super injured too, so I had like a messed up elbow. Elbow. I was supposed to compete in Vegas. Actually, I can't even see it, but I was supposed to compete in Vegas.
That's right on the submission thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, submission grappling against the stud. Man, I'm gonna forget his name and not give him a shout out. Damn, that sucks.
Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, against a stud little grappler, and I was excited to kind of test my black belt and stuff because I haven't grappled since I was probably a purple belt, like in a jiu-jitsu tournament type of situation. So I was excited to kind of compete and all that stuff, but my elbow blew up and I could not get it down. It was like a softball at the end of my elbow. It was horrible.
Because the only reason I remember that is because that was on International Fight Week. Because I was in Vegas at the same time, and I forget who I was talking to, but it was like, "Is Brandon here?" And you're like, "No, he didn't make it because he's injured." So I remember this now.
Yeah, yeah. His name's Jerry Shapiro too. Jerry Shapiro. I was supposed to fight or grapple him.
Okay.
A little match.
Nice. That's great, man. Brandon, we're looking forward to this, man. October 15th, UFC Fight Night. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors or any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, yeah. I want to thank Factory X always. My teammates from Factory X, they're the best. EAP Glass, that's I always support them. I would be nowhere without them. Wouldn't have a house or anything with them. So EAP Glass has been a blessing, truly. So mainly them, man. And thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you.